All right, what's going on, guys? Weekly meeting screen share. I know we had a good talk earlier in the week, but let's do it again. Bitcoin on the 1 hour chart. And if you go to the 2 hour, you see that there's this falling wedge inside this falling wedge, the bigger falling wedge, bigger channel, and then the smaller channel. It's very common that you find patterns inside other patterns, right? Use this to your advantage because this gives you the ability to, this small channel is a falling wedge, falling channel, 68% chance it breaks out to the upside. It did. You got volume. You don't have this kind of volume, right? It's holiday. It's the weekend. You're at this resistance right here. And so now we're going to zoom in on this part. And so this will help you with time frames, right? Where this is the 2 hour. And so by zooming in, it's like looking at a map. You go to the street view and you're zooming into that small channel. Here it is. Bigger picture. The problem has been for the bulls, this resistance. Every time it gets hit, it becomes weaker. There are sell orders stacked in this area. 27,500 down to 27,200. And so Bitcoin's broken out of this small channel on the 1 hour time frame. The measured move should be higher than this resistance. However, you've seen rejection. You want this to be a higher high, right? So what really tricked a lot of people was this. You have your low, your high. You put in a higher low and a higher high. So you start to form an uptrend, but then you get rejected. Hard rejection. The rate at which these coins drop is important because that can tell you how many people, because remember, there's buyers and there's sellers on the way up. But when the buyers start flipping to sellers, then the bottom falls out and you get these like long wicks, like we saw here. There's kind of a bull trap, right? So that'll give you these tremendous moves to the downside faster. But Bitcoin, like I said, it likes to take the stairs up and then it elevators down, right? So that's why the shorts have been so profitable. Make sure use the MEXC link for the group in the description and practice, or they have demo account, and it's been eye-opening. I was hesitant for a while to introduce leverage, but just like anything else, you have to manage your risk. Low leverage, small amounts, start there until you can double $100. Don't trade anything more than that, right? You've got to manage your capital right now. The trading has not been amazing on higher time frames, and we've, on 3 and 5x shorts and longs have been pulling out decent gains, but there's a learning curve to this, and I'm going to get you guys up to speed. Like, I've never been more dedicated to this group and seeing you guys succeed. We've got a team that I can't believe how good they are because they care. We care. I care. Like, that's the difference. We want you to be cautious and careful and smart. And if you have questions, you definitely DM the admins. The most important part about Bitcoin, it's been in this falling wedge. And you can see you had huge volume here, right here, and it broke out. And then you had a bull flag, and the bull flag, it turned out to be break to the downside. So that gives me an idea, is the pattern really something in here? And so constantly we're collecting data day after day after day. Regardless of the pattern, the problem is on higher time frames, and we're going to go there next. This resistance level has yet to be broken, but we've got tentative deal in the United States as far as the debt ceiling goes. And a lot of people are holding US treasuries, and obviously the stock market doesn't want to see the United States default on any debt. It's something that you're in your mind, you're thinking, no way that this would happen. But like they wait to the last minute to get it done, and it's like creates some fear to a point. Like, are they, obviously the economy is not in amazing shape. Are they really able to make even more mistakes by defaulting on debt? You know, you question yourself, what are these guys doing? Obviously there's been panic situation in the past, which has been something that I haven't seen in my lifetime, and you don't have a whole lot to compare it to. But I think, you know, stock market's closed and it's a holiday weekend. Hopefully you guys enjoy time with your families, but make sure and understand that Bitcoin has got to break this resistance for upside, which completely makes sense. We talked about this inverse head and shoulders and a bounce at the bottom, and you always assume that the price action continues in the pattern until it doesn't, right? So when you are in this group for a period of time, more than a month, and you'll start to see, you know, double bottoms, inverse head and shoulders, but they'll be at this resistance level. I'm sorry, at the support, at the lower trend line. Right here, after 3 touches, there's a lot of people that would go long on any more touches here, right? And it happened here with this like little head and shoulders, and then broke to the upside with a little bit of volume. Right now, you got about the same amount of volume on this breakout, but there's, again, most institutional traders are not working today. They're on vacation, most people. So it's easier to move the price, is essentially what I'm saying. So the 1 hour, we're seeing a breakout of this smaller pattern. And so again, just keying in on how to use higher time frames, or excuse me, lower time frames to nail the reversals. The double bottom idea and buying support played out on quite a few. Well, here's 2 easy ones, and this can be your strategy. It could be this easy: oversold RSI down here, oversold, right? And then you've got this bounce. So notice you've got a low and higher low here. It's pretty close, but you got a double bottom and then bullish divergence, right? And so as soon as this thing was confirmed, up quickly. So everybody's looking, and you actually have like this double bottom inside and actually double bottom here. So you could be at the lower term time frames, and you're seeing these double bottoms. Don't make this more difficult. There's a lot of information in the group, and it's information overload when you come in. Start with this one idea: falling wedges, falling channels, double bottoms at support. Breakout trading is good. Everybody starts there. But then the whales, people that are experienced, know how to trick the breakout traders, because a lot of the breakouts, all of them except for one, is a fake out, right? And so understand that the win rate is low. That's why you have to wait for a confirmed breakout, and then the bullish retest afterwards is your best buy signal. But the idea is you could open on the trend line bounces with a percentage, 30% of your position. And that gives you the ability to trade the range, right? Obviously you're short in the top and you're long in the bottoms, and you can make money in here. This was choppy, and this was very difficult to trade. When Bitcoin is trending, it is always easier to trade the market. And this is just chop city. And so you have to know that when you're new, you do not want to get chopped up. And that's why I want you practicing with small amounts. There's a time to go big, a time to be cautious, a time to practice. Don't force trades when the market is subpar. However, we're going to open up a leverage trading group, a couple of them, And I'll talk more about that in a video and announcements where there's a lot more updates. It's close to a call group where there's just a lot more information because the trades are so short term, or can be, right? And so what we're finding is people are, patience is something in this market that I can't teach, and it takes time to develop. But I'm seeing new people that would struggle with spot longs, and rightfully so, because Bitcoin has been in a downtrend. Spot longs, I mean, would have been profitable if you opened up here, 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 but to what extent? And then you got to find these super micro cap altcoins. So this has been a downtrend, and so you're trading against the trend if you're waiting, trying to nail spot longs and setups, and you've got setups that really need time to play out, days, weeks to play out. But when the overall trend is a downtrend, it hasn't been amazing for the altcoins. And so understanding that you have to adjust to what the market is giving you always. I used to do like the altcoin weather, right? Like, hey, it's sunny today or it's partly cloudy based on what you see on the altcoins. And so just to go over real quick to good old KuCoin. And like I said, use multiple exchanges. We're going to post across Binance, KuCoin, MEXC. As we move forward, we have constantly adjusted to, I mean, when I first started in crypto, like Poloniex was gem pick bangers. Like every day you log in there and there's something up like 200%. I mean, I started in 2017, and so Bitcoin was $1,000. Obviously, it was a good year for crypto because it ran up to close to 20,000, 19,700, right? So you get these altcoins on Poloniex, and everything's up 200%. And we're seeing similar ideas on MEXC and on KuCoin right now. What I want to point out is this idea with you, where you've got coins that are moving, they're giving huge gains, but a lot of them are super. So like a lot of these are new, don't even have market cap put in place. These are, a lot of these will pump big and dump quick. So you just have to be cautious. Like when the news comes out, the end of the quarters is normally stacked with news, and that gives you a huge advantage. And so it's real important to watch for if you're new, coins with news will have a higher rate of success. But when you're dealing with Hawk is up 60%, but its market cap is so small, it doesn't take much to move it at all, right? And so you start buying, you buy $10,000 worth of this, and you're pumping it yourself, right? And so you don't want to trade against yourself. So smaller bags, smaller trades are what you have to adjust to as far as the smaller cap coins. But if you're making profit, it builds in the beginning. When you start trading, lock in profits on the way up. It will build confidence. When you're overconfident, this market will take your money too. So don't let overconfidence or forcing trades. So the psychology behind trading is whatever you're feeling. And I used to counter trade my feelings very well. You know, when you're scared, your stomach's in a knot, you're almost sick because these coins are dropping so hard, and being able to buy like RSI oversold bounces, there's videos on that. That is, they call it catching eyes for a reason, and it's very risky. But once you have done this for a while, just like anything, you get used to it and you know how to scale in. And again, That's a trading strategy that I did really well on in the bear market in 2018. So you have to adjust. Now we've seen on MEXC the ability to short the coins, and you're trading the opposite direction, and you're buying the breakouts to the downside. You're shorting them. So you have to progress in the group to these different levels. The group caters to a lot of different levels, and you are the only person that can judge how good you are. If you continually are winning, know that most people aren't, and you are ready to learn and add a new idea. Add one idea at a time. I wouldn't say, hey, go watch every video. I would say watch one video, master, at least have a good understanding of what the video is teaching, and then move to the next. But like we talked about, very easy basic strategy is to look for the double bottoms, these W's, right? If you're just trading spot longs, like you're looking and scanning charts, and you're looking for, here was an inverse head and shoulders, and it was tiny. You could barely even see it on the 2-hour chart. So you zoom in, you see how you can see it here, and we go to a 30-minute chart and see how much bigger it is. And so it gives you the ability to zoom in and find these patterns. The lower time frames, all the moves start on the lower time frames, but they don't necessarily carry over to the higher time frames, right? So you can go in here, don't get stuck on these, don't get stuck on the 5-minute chart, but you can have a better understanding of what's happening on the, as far as the major pivots on the move. And I'll give you a very good example right here. So by zooming into the 5-minute chart, you see you've got this pullback W with a bear trap, where you see how this comes down, long wick, right? So bears would open up shorts right here. Well, guess what? It comes in and it double bottoms. And on the higher time frames, this looks like a inverse head and shoulders. This is more of an art than a science, right? And so a lot of this doesn't have to be perfect. You go to Google and you search, double bottoms or head and shoulders, like you're going to see some patterns that you would not even expect for people to call, complex head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, cup and handles. Like they're messy. Whenever you see the clean ones, those are the easy ones. But understand that on the RSI, you've got your low, and then this is a higher low. Okay, so you got bullish divergence with a bear trap on the 5-minute time frame. That is a reversal idea. And then it basically comes back down here and retests. And so what this is a bear trap more than anything. And this has been a very important part of my strategy and my success, is when you see these long wicks to the downside, because this will be a wick on a higher time frame, and then you see, you're almost talking yourself through this. Okay, bulls are completely losing this level. They're completely losing this level, and then everyone's opening up shorts right here, and the price action comes back in the pattern, and it bullishly retests pattern. That's your buy signal on this bear trap that you would have not seen unless you zoomed into the 5-minute chart. And we're seeing huge success on leverage trades on lower term timeframes. And you can practice for free on MEXC with a demo account. I mean, there's limited trading pairs, but it's nice to be able to practice. You'll move to practicing with 20 and 30 and 50 and $100. After that, you want to make sure that your win rate, there's going to be times when it's like, hey guys, midterm hold, this coin has news. I mean, we ran through like Tron's mainnet launch, their testnet launch, like we completely killed it. Like I'm just saying, like it gets so easy when you got right now, all the projects are holding the news back. They're not putting out the news. The biggest holders of these coins are the people that are involved in the project. How does the project start? Somebody hits me up and they'll call me and say, hey, do you want to be an advisor on this project? Well, we can pay you in coins. We obviously don't have any money. We'll pay you in coins. And then when the coins go live, then you have the coins, and that has a value, and that's how you get paid. And developers get paid that way, and everybody involved in the project gets paid with the coins. And then that's why you'll see people posting that the token unlocks are happening, and that's where it will allow angel investors and developers to sell their tokens, and that's where that idea comes into play. There are so many ideas that are important to understand in this market. Like chess, if you miss or make one wrong move, it completely changes the entire outcome of the game. And in trading, if you don't know an idea that you miss, it completely changes the outcome of the trade. And so little things like stop loss is too tight. Always set alerts on your stop losses so that there's a lot of low liquidity trading pairs right now on KuCoin. Your stops will get skipped on a big Bitcoin move. And so you want to be alerted. You'll get an email, make sure to sign up for Tradingview Pro Plus, and you'll get alerts and emails to your phone. And you don't have to be stuck on these charts all day. Okay. But you guys see that you've got, and so there's a young lady in the group, and she's making a list of, and I always recommend this, like, hey, you're going in front of the judge and you're trying to make a bullish or bearish case. And in this situation, you've got one bottom and then a second bottom. You know, there's possibly like an inverse head and shoulders here, but the most important thing is like bullish divergence when it's oversold down here, because this is an oscillator. It moves from 0 to 100. When it gets down here, it's harder for the RSI to move in this area, to move to the downside. So when you see the relative strength is higher, and that is not a very good line, Chris. The relative strength is, so it goes from a low to a higher low. Here you've got a low and a lower low. These do not match. This is called divergence. This is bullish divergence. There's videos and infographics, and if you have questions, you need to take advantage of our beginners group. Joe is amazing. Everybody, all the other admins will chime in, and we're going to get you up to speed. If you're new and a lot of this is information overload, I started where you're at. Average Joe Crypto. I know what you need to know to get to where I am. I know and understand everything that you're going through because I did it. I made all these mistakes. There's no amount of videos that is going to, experience is the best teacher, period. And so trading lower term time frames does build experience. And so what I'm finding, and I'm pretty shocked, and I wish I would have done it sooner with these leverage trades where you're low, you know, people are using like $20, $30, $50, low leverage, 3x, and they are trading, these moves are faster. And so people like them because you see your trades play out and you're practicing these ideas, and you see, it's not like wait a month and then see where the coin price action works, because Bitcoin's been in a downtrend overall, been putting in slightly lower highs for a long period of time. Well, a period of time anyway. So this has not been amazing for longer term trading. Now, Bitcoin had a good bounce from this lower trend line. Here was a smaller pattern. but there's a ton of sellers right here. And when I say don't get stuck on the 1 hour time frame, like on a macro level, it doesn't matter a whole lot. But the moves start on the smaller time frames, and then you work higher. You're looking at the 2 hour. You're seeing, okay, this pattern here potentially could break out. You got some volume, but then this resistance. And here's why it's so important: is this double bottom happened, and after a big move to the downside. So this is a very key level based on it reversed the entire market of Bitcoin. And now here you are, right here. So this would make a statement if it breaks out above there. What you want to see, what you need to see. And so there's so many ways to trade this on all different levels. You know, did you buy the inverse head and shoulders? You could have done that and said, hey, I opened up with 30%. And then you get a break above here, but you're buying right below the pattern trend line, right? You start buying, you want to wait for a breakout and retest, and then you can add on the retest. And so it's not all in. It's not sit down and like, I got $5,000 today. Let's find a trade. Let's just jump in and just throw 5Gs at a coin, right? You're up here, you're overbought, you're at resistance, and the major point to take from this is there's a huge advantage when you're buying at support. When you're seeing these reversal ideas at support, because then you're able to trade these moves, right? Yeah, the daily. You had 4 days of green candles. You've got this falling wedge. You got very low volume today. Holiday weekend. But stocks, you have to think stocks are going to be green. The debt ceiling's raised. Stocks open up. And I guess the tentative deal with the markets, the tentative deal with the debt ceiling being raised is being worked out. So it's going to happen. That's going to help stock market. You have to think that this helped Bitcoin. There was uncertainty there. I mean, the major change happens when you get a breakout of this trend line, which we've talked about 100 times. Double bottom. Come down here at these wicks. All the sellers' previous support becomes future resistance. It's easy to move the price right now. It's the weekend. You had a long wick on the bottom. It worked here as well. Long wick. We nailed this long wick. I mean, I ran to the PC. I was outside and I ran to the PC. And I say, here it is. Possible bear trap. And that's a very good and easy strategy, just like we talked about with the double bottoms. You will see bear traps and bull traps that lead to, at the peak of the bull market, you had a break of 70,000, and then you lost the level and then bearishly retested it. So what kills this move higher, right, is that you got the long wick, number one. It means the bulls broke these recent highs. It comes down after this pullback. I call it the kiss of death, and I like that because you'll remember it. Kiss of death. This price action comes up here and gets rejected. So I'm like yelling at the bulls in my head, like, how are you you break this level and then you lose it, you come back, and everybody's programmed to short right here. And people are going to take profits right here because it's a bearish retest of this idea. The bull traps, and again, there's videos on it. I'll repost the bull trap. Make notes. Bull trap video. the long wick reversal idea as far as what you're looking for. It doesn't work all the time. Nothing works all the time. This is trading. Nothing's perfect. But what I want to see on the daily chart out of Bitcoin is a break. I want to see a daily close really above this trend line. Right? Could this be this giant falling channel? And this is just the bottom. Now, is there bullish divergence? We need to look here. Market. So Alt V. I want to mark these lows. Yeah, I mean, you got the bullish divergence on the RSI. Not oversold, but definitely helped with this move higher. Just see how this volume's falling off? Let's just like weekend volume. Like, ugh. You want to see these moves like with stronger volume. There's just a lack of volume. There's a lot of people that have taken their crypto off exchanges, and again, it's a holiday, so it's easier to move the market because the major players, the whales, aren't necessarily in here. So this is an idea that has to be considered because you've got a double bottom with some bullish divergence here. First, it's always there's the next test. This is the next test. This is the next test. At some point, you have to open on a smaller time frame and zoom in, and then use your stop loss to manage risk. Set your alert on top of your stop loss, and you see how we did it on a lower term time frame. So it all starts here and moves to the higher time frame. Okay, here's what you're dealing with, but you already opened based on what happened down here potentially. If your skill set's not in place and you're waiting for breakouts, it's a different ball game. And that's okay because you'll get these small caps, the altcoin setups that play out, and you'll get the breakouts. So this is a chart I haven't looked at in a little bit, and it's the weekly chart, and it has very strong significance. And we talked about this. The bull markets, typically the 200 SMA has been the indicator that has called the bottom of this bear market here in 2018. The panic situation drop in 2020 back here as well. So what has happened is you've seen, are you going to get the bullish retest of the 200 simple on the weekly? And potentially there's a bull flag there. You want to see this held. You also have the shoulder, head, shoulder, inverse head and shoulder idea. You're below the strongest resistance right here, which is 31,000. You were here previously. Okay, but you've got a, bull flag. You're retesting the 200. So the key is this has to hold or downside. Then your next level of support is going to be 25,200, which we said would be a textbook retest. However, the 200 simple moving average above that, will you get a bear trap down here and then it takes off, or this would be a long wick? But we're going back to what's happening in traditional markets. We're thinking, okay, debt ceiling deal is going to get done, and this brings some confidence in to traditional markets, and this could pull Bitcoin higher. And so here's your setup right now is break out of this level, 31,000. You've already had a lot of entry ideas that happened in here on the zoomed in low time frames for smaller profits where you're managing risk. You really want to see a run up to $45,000 Bitcoin, you got to flip this level. right here. Otherwise, you're wondering, okay, is this a rising wedge with a break to the downside where you come back and you revisit 20,000? So these are all important ideas that I thought would be easier to explain to you guys in a video. And I wanted to keep it brief today. But this is what Bitcoin is facing. And I want you to make sure, and I'm going to post a couple of the videos I talked about in group. And Joe's videos are very good for beginners. Tripp's videos are a concise version, condensed of the videos that I made initially. And those are must-watch videos. This is a game. This is player versus player. This is you. You don't just lose money. It doesn't just disappear. Other people are taking your money. And that is not the way to win in this market. You've got to be better than at least some of the people trading. Right now, you don't have, when I'm telling you guys, when the weak traders, when the hodl crew comes in and the diamond hands crew comes in, like they'll hold this thing to the top and then they'll hold the thing to the bottom. And we take profits and we'll easily take their money. And that is welcome to trading, player versus player. And your capital is like, if you've ever played a first-person shooter, your capital is your ammo. And you do not want to go all in. You always have, I'd say with leverage trading, you have 3 bags equally split. If you blow a bag, then you got 2 more, right? But you got to use stop losses, obviously, to manage risk, and that's covered in the videos. So again, big push on MEXC because we've seen so much success, and I'm shocked, to be honest with you. And I just can't believe how amazing it is to get your DMs, and it feels so good to see success from people that were, I mean, this has been sideways chopped downtrend for so long, and to seeing people like pull out 100 and 200% gains, which if you haven't ever leverage traded, go to MEXC with the link in the description. So you'll get the bonuses and the half price trading fees and practice. They have a demo account. You can trade a couple of different trading pairs, watch Joe's videos on MEXC, and you'll, a lot of times when you're new, you're going to sit down and you're going to watch this price action and you probably get stuck and you can't move. Well, when you have leverage ideas, if you're getting 3% at 3x leverage and you're only making 9%, just keep locking in the profits, wash, rinse, repeat. The main thing is when you start to become profitable, everything changes in life. Everything. Because you'll have an aha moment and bells will go off in your head because everything will just start to click. I've had people join this group, not watch the videos, and back in the day when there was 30 people in the group and this was like a crypto club, and then I'm like making these videos and people are joining, I'm putting them in brotherly headlocks. I'm like, watch the dang videos. It's right here laid out. Right here. And then you see somebody run $500 up to 250,000. I think he was up to 500,000 at one point, and it's just like, what? I can't believe this is even my life. I can't even thank you guys enough for taking the time to learn how to dominate this market, because that's what we're going to do. That's what we're headed for. For the people that are new, like I said, midterm holds are coming, but it's tough to hold coins when Bitcoin's in a downtrend because the coins don't do well. Just curious to see what the larger caps are doing, the top 100 coins. So look at the hourly, there's a little bit of not much. I mean, over the last hour, the last 24 hours, let's see the top gainers, Mask, Loki. We're going to have a meme season. The Chinese narrative. Let's talk about this. So Beijing comes out and releases a white paper for Web3. So this is creating some hype. China obviously has banned Bitcoin, but now they're pushing Web3 in innovation and development. A lot of people think that Hong Kong is a test run for China, but Hong Kong is going to open the ability for retail traders to trade, but only 4 coins from Huobi, from HT, right? Huobi token, which you're looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, TRX, and what was the last one? Yeah, only 2 crypto firms. Okay, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tron, and Huobi token are going to be traded first. And so I'm assuming Huobi is one of the 2 exchanges. Only 2 crypto firms, another article said, has been licensed so far. But you got like 150 in line to like everybody's. Think about it. You're in the United States and you're getting Wells notices. Dude, Coinbase needs to pop up in Hong Kong. I mean, these are companies trying to survive based on the lack of infrastructure and clarity in crypto regulations in the United States, which is just a mess. Like, how do you, like, could you drop the ball anymore, United States? Like, is it possible that you stifle innovation as much as you, like, it doesn't even make sense, or does it? Who is padding the pockets of all the congressmen, politicians? Janet Yellen herself, like in public speaking engagements, makes hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars from these banks. Banks do not want crypto to come in here and just destroy them. Now, they're also dealing with the United States raising rates so fast that Janet Yellen even came out and said, you know what? We're probably going to see a lot of these regional banks. I mean, she alluded to the fact that they fail and people move their money to the bigger banks. And if they raise the rates again, so a lot of people were hoping for a pause, but the chances of a rate hike went up to about 60% on the next FOMC meeting. If that happens, again, we've seen stock market doing okay. And so there's so many different factors that can be factored in to these crypto trading ideas. And you cannot trade the news effectively because it's just random. It's like, who's going to come out with the next piece of news that's just going to hit the markets. But the most important thing is if it hurts the stock market, it has a higher probability of hurting crypto. And so I'm kind of, if you Google some of these ideas, they are supposed to be more meaningful than others. Where inflation, I have seen a direct correlation when they announce CPI inflation numbers versus core PCE. And in the future, I'll know to make adjustments to my ideas and strategies based on what I've seen, based on experience, and experience is going to be the best teacher. And so pay attention. I know what these coins can do and I know how bad they get crushed in a bear market, and that's why I don't hold down trends, and that's why I preach it. Like it's not worth like I don't start buying into coins when they're headed down. I wait for accumulation, and then I want to see accumulation, and I want to see a break back of the 200 simple moving average on the 4-hour time frame. But Bitcoin is potentially doing it right now on the weekly. And that's how big this is. If the bulls can pull this off, a break, I mean, they're coming back down here. Right here, you had a fake out, right? Bear trap, fake out, bears get punished. I'm sorry, bull trap, fake out, bulls get punished, right? Here you are, you're coming back, you're back testing. You are back testing after a volume spike. It's not this big, but it's here. You've got a breakout head and shoulders here. I just pulled this up as I started this screen share, and I realized, holy cow, this is a clear signal for what we should see in this market over time. A bounce here, plan A for Bitcoin is a bounce here. You could open up some positions, but remember, there's going to be a bunch of sellers here. If this level is broken, and again, leverage traders, I mean, they're doing their own thing down here and they're making plenty of money. But this hasn't been the market for a lot of these spot longs. Right? It's just been super chop city. This resistance level, let's just do this. Start here. Just this pattern, it should be a move up into here, 34,000. Measured move, not Chris made it up. So we want to see a weekly close above this level and then breakout of this trend line where it's forming a small bull flag, right? But it's right here, it's like, hey, this is, imagine one candle. Like I really had to wrap my mind around it in the beginning when I first started learning these ideas. One candle on the weekly is so significant. And we've talked about this key overhead resistance time and time again, where you had all the buyers bought here, all the buyers bought here, bought here, bought here, bought here. So all the sellers are here. All the sellers are here. But on the daily chart, look, let's back test it. On the daily chart, let me pull back. Let me pull up another one. Try. Give me 2 seconds. Bitcoin recently just back tested the, let's see. Okay, here it is. Check this out. This is, and excuse the mess down there. That was, man, life-changing money right here. It's crazy when you go back and you open up these charts that you've used and you're thinking, the breakout of this head and shoulders, and you're calling this upside of this rising wedge, and then Bitcoin runs up to 64,000, and then I've got 1,000 messages thanking me because we made so much money in that run up, and we're going to do it again. But now we're over here. But I wanted to point out this idea to you, right? So you had on the daily chart a bullish retest of the 200 simple, and look at the upside. And what's interesting is now you've got the same pattern, but you are retesting this on the weekly. You saw what it did on the daily. Huge move higher. Let me see. 50% move higher out of Bitcoin on a back test of the 200 simple moving average on the daily chart. You pair that with finally the United States is raising the debt ceiling. You get a good pivot here. Huge, right? Huge. This is the bullish scenario that needs to play out to see much higher prices. You start pulling fib levels after this breakout based on the downside move, right? Where this resistance is like you got the 236, 382, the 0.5. I mean, this price action breaks this level, you should be up in here, right? 45,000. If you lose it, then you're coming back down to 20,000. And this is on macro level. This will take time to play out, right? A lot of people say sell in May and run away. But the bullish scenario is exactly what we stated. And on the daily chart, you saw 53% profits based on had support here. And constantly, like, and then when I'm going over these ideas with you and these trades, like if I were you, when you're new, I would be writing down and taking notes of all these ideas on your specific trade based on your strategy. You're not going to be able to write there's bullish divergence down, or there's if you don't even have your moving averages turned on because you're trying to trade, with a phone. Definitely try to add a second monitor. It will pay for itself. Definitely add a laptop if you're using your phone. You will see tremendous returns if you treat this like a business and take this seriously. Get your whiteboard. We have the next year and a half of our lives to change our lives forever. You have to keep showing up every single day. One thing that I know in my heart and that I've seen and I've back tested is that people that stay in this group make ridiculous amounts of money. People that stay in crypto make ridiculous amounts of money. People that start in crypto make 1,000 mistakes because they don't know any better. And the goal of this group is to warn people, let them know, hey, this is a big red flag. This is a big red flag. It's like, I'm telling you guys right now, the stove is hot. But there's always people out there that have to go and touch the stove. And whoa, when you're 5 or 6 and you touch the stove and mom says it's hot and it freaking burns you, listen to mom. I'm just saying, like, these ideas are proven percentage-wise. Our win rate is ridiculous over time. And you have to be the one that does this. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you deal with it. You will face big obstacles in life every day. In trading, you will face big obstacles. How you deal with those obstacles will change your life forever. 90% of what happens to you, you have to make good. You have to make, you can change it. You can make the difference. No one is going to do this for you. The fact that you're even here in this screen share, in this group, you know that this is it. This is the biggest financial equalizer by far we're ever going to see in our lifetime. And we are freaking here. Some of us getting our teeth kicked in because, you know what, we're learning. And I did it. It happened to me. I did it for years. Well, year, right? But it was a bull market, so it didn't matter because everything just kept going up. It's easy. But I learned real quick not to listen to these bozo YouTubers because there's a lot of them. And you need to focus and watch the charts. And you are in a group of thousands of people watching the market at the same time that want to see you succeed. And that's where we take a player versus player game, challenge, trading, and we've put together one of the strongest teams ever to help you succeed. And you have to take advantage of everything that we've compiled over the years. And you have to make this count. And then we do a meetup, Vacation City. We all go to Vegas. Life's good. Compound, crypto compound. We all have villas in some far off place with clear water, and we hang out and we're set. And that's the journey. That's what's happening. And you have to speak all of this into existence every single day and know that you have every opportunity in the world to change your life forever. You have to make this count. And so when you're like, I don't know about, these videos, dude, the people that watch it a couple times, time and time again, the third time you watch some of these videos, you really start to nail it. You really start to make sense. And I do these screen shares, and I have people, one young lady, 15 months later, she's hitting me up and she's talking a different language. And when I say a different language, it's the language that you've heard me speak the entire time we've been here on this screen share. Trading terminology, trading vocabulary, trading ideas, which takes time to develop. If we all went to Mexico right now, my Spanish is not good, we would struggle. You are learning a new language. It doesn't happen overnight. Give it a couple of weeks, you'll know more. Give it a couple of months, you'll know even more. You're writing books in Spanish after a while. And we're getting you up to speed, how we've done for thousands and thousands of people. And we will not stop, and we will keep pushing, and we will drag you to the top, period. Period. Just show up every day and grind it out. The easy money is coming. Listen, I love you guys. I can't thank you enough for your support. I'm so proud of our admins and you guys for just learning and wanting to make changes in your life and wanting to spend your life not working for the man and enjoying your family and the things that life's really about. I love you guys. I'll keep you guys updated in group. Thanks so much. We'll talk real soon. Take care.